Keep it down.
Welcome to Sigrblót 2024. Unlike what the intro says, here is our god woman, Maire Durkan. Go ahead.
All right.
And
well,
now,
hi,
yeah.
everyone. Welcome to Victory Blot or Summer Finding. I am so delighted to be able to do this from my little Vacum Florida room here. In the background, you might see a lot of my banners and stuff. So this is a room that has seen a lot of ritual, a lot of energy in it. And it's just delightful to share this with you, even though we're together in spirit and not physically. So I hope this will be significant for you. Before we get started, let's talk a little bit about what we're doing. The altar is set up to honor this time of year as the sun gets brighter in the sky. And the two deities I have chosen for this are Suna and Geviun. Now, let's talk a little bit about them first. And I will also talk a little bit about the runes that we are talking about. Geviun's rune is Gebo, a gift for a gift, an equal exchange, a sacrifice for a sacrifice. Obviously, Suna's rune is Sowilo. And of course, to make our working work and to get on with things as we manifest our personal victory at this time of year, as we set that intention to go forward, we want to use Yera. And we'll be galdering those later in the rite. But let's talk a little bit about these goddesses. I'm going to talk a little bit from my book, Circle of Frith, and for Suna, I am going to give a plug and talk from the absolutely excellent book from Patty LaFale, Ásatrú, a heathen's practical heathen's guide to Ásatrú. So, what can I tell you about Geviun if you don't know? I'm gonna read something from Gylfaginning. Geviun dragged from Gylfi gladly the land beyond value. Denmark's increased steam rising from the swift-footed bulls who are her Jotun sons, who she had for this reason. The oxen bore 8 moons with a far head and 4 heads hauling as they went in front of the grassy isle's wide fissure. Oh boy, is she an amazing goddess. I love working with Geviun. If you haven't, she is one of Frigg's ladies with stories as well as references in the lore. And that's quite unusual. Like Saga, she has strong ties to Odin as well as to Frigg. And what is interesting about Geviun is that you feel this harmony in those relationships. It's not stressful. It's like she's able to balance all this, like the yoke on her oxen's shoulders. She's able to balance these energies of Odin and Frigg as she does her work for us. She's called the giver. And given the lore and my personal experience, she is connected to agriculture, fertility, especially the latent and oncoming fertility of young women. She is about the empowerment of young women, the plow, breaking new ground, literal and metaphorical, prosperity, astute planning, right? We can't get to our goal. We can't manifest our victory unless we plan for it. Material wealth based on wise management and planning. In business, this includes selling yourself to your customers, right? She's a heavyweight power, heavyweight, who's worked very hard for the things she's attained. And if you call upon her, as we will be today, she will expect you to put an effort into your aspirations as well. So it's really very important for us to not just expect things to fall from on high. I think we hopefully all know that by now. I do want you to have, before I talk about anything else, if you don't have it already, if you can grab a writing implement of any sort and a piece of paper. You can stick it on your laptop if you want, but I want it to be permanent. So if it's on your laptop, I would want you to print it out. It's going to be a little harder. If you absolutely cannot get to a writing implement and something to write on, I would suggest that you just strongly visualize what we're doing and maybe commit it to paper later. Do a little more of a rite for yourself when you commit it, calling upon your land vader and your local whites and your DCer and AC, whoever you're working with, to witness that for you. So I will talk, and hopefully you can run and get paper and a pen or pencil or marker, doesn't matter, whatever works. And I want to talk a little bit about Suna. Suna is the daughter of Mundelfari and the sister of Mani. They were two beautiful children, and the story in the lore is that the father boasted about them, and the gods got a little bit upset. Sounds almost Greek, but it's not. It's Norse, at least. I don't know what the Christian influences upon the story were, but they were consigned to drive the chariots for the sun and moon. And Suna is our solar lady, right? And I'm just going to read straight from Patty because it's great. She says, Suna also drives a cart across the sky, and her horses are Ardvaker, early awake, and Alsvith, all swift. The sun itself is a spark from Muspelheim, which Odin, Vili, and Ve set into place, but Suna is seen by most modern heathens as the personification of the sun. She is our solar lady. This makes sense in a worldview that holds the sun as feminine. Remember, our moon is masculine. She is chased across the sky by a troll transformed into the shape of a wolf. The Fimbulvinter, 3 years of winter, which presage Ragnarok, will occur when the wolf inevitably catches the sun and devours her. But she has a daughter, Elfbeam, and that daughter will go on and propagate the sun again, a new sun in a new world. Sun worship was prominent in the Bronze Age, as can be seen in the Trundholm sun chariot and the prevalence of the sun wheel, either even armed or as a swastika in the pre-Nazi sense that is used in India and all over Indo-European countries. That said, it is vital to remember that the Nazis' party co-opted and corrupted this ancient symbol of the sun. Many modern heathens will not wear or associate with the swastika due to its ill fame. Instead, they prefer the sun wheel shown as an even-armed cross inside a circle, as we did, and this is just one more way. I did want to bring it up. I do use the runic sort of as symbol, but if you don't like it, then visualize it in whatever way seems best for you, because I don't want anyone to be uncomfortable with anything that I do today. And please let me have your opinions and thoughts afterwards. I would love to hear from you. So I do want to go through the bloat and talk a little bit about what we're doing. So pen and paper is the only thing you physically need for this. If you want to have a bloat bowl of your own and a cup or whatever you need, that's fine. We just whatever you need, it can be as elaborate or as simple as you like. After this, I'll go through the rite with you. We're going to ground and center. I will ground and center you. And then I will create sacred space, and our space will be hallowed and warded. And then I will give a statement of intent and purpose, which I hope will be something you can vibe to. And after the statement of intent and purpose, we will invoke the great ones. We will invoke Suna. We will invoke Geviun. We will call upon the great ones and our local land whites and DCer ancestors to bear witness. And then we will do the work. We will declare our intention for victory. We will visualize the personal victory we wish to manifest and try to see it as fully as possible. I will be going through this again with you during the rite, so you don't need to take notes. I'm gonna go talk you right through it. And we will say something, and I will say it in bits so that you can speak it back. It's like I'll say the whole thing now, but I will break it up. I set my intent to achieve my victory in this sacred space and ask the great ones present to support my efforts. With your aid, may I manifest this victory. After that, we will raise energy to set our intention. And I will sing this to you. You can just chant it. It's super simple. I'm going to sing it twice, and I'll read it once. Weaving and woven strands of light, holding the power, shifting the night, mantle of goodness, mantle of might. Suna empower the seeker's light, Geviun, empower the seeker's might. And I will break that up too. I won't leave you in the dust, I promise. We'll seal the working, and then we'll have a bloat. And I think we can do 3 rounds, no problem. So the first round will be to Suna and Geviun, your hails, and you can type them right into the chat, or you can just say them. You don't have to share them, but I would love to see what you share, and I'm sure the other people who are celebrating would love that too. The second round of the bloat will be to the gods and ancestors of blood and or spirit. And the third round is open. You can blow if you like, but please, no additional oathing. I can't hear your oath, no, but we're all witness to it in one way or another. So please, no additional oathing beyond the intention of what we are setting today. I think that's more than enough for one ritual. After that, we'll hail and farewell. I will earth the bloat bowl after the ritual ends. We'll bid farewell to the great ones and have some time for a Q&A for those who are interested and it doesn't have to be a Q&A either, guys. You can just be sharing your experiences and thoughts. I think that would be beautiful. So, Lauren, are we ready to go on, or? I guess we are. Ritual by grounding and centering you. So if you could please all find yourself a comfortable space where you can release some tensions and stress, and let's take a deep breath together. Sigh it out, and another in through the nose, sighing out all the tension and stress and worry about the coming week and the week that went by and what's going on, and just set that down. You can pick it up later if you like. And now I would like you to close your eyes for a moment and feel your feet grounded against the earth. Feel your connection to the mother. And draw some of that powerful energy from the Nerthus up through your legs. Feel that rising, hot, warm energy from the warming Mother Earth if you happen to be in this hemisphere, and the still warm earth if you're in another hemisphere. And just feel it rising up, 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 up through you, warming you, grounding you to the mother. You are anchored, you are safe, you are whole. Nowhere to go, nowhere to be, but here in this time and space now. And for a second, I want you to just feel where your center of consciousness is right now. It could be anywhere between your forehead and your toes, depending on what you're feeling right now. But just be aware of your center of consciousness and let it rise and fall to where it needs to be for this rite, for you to do the best work you can to manifest your victory. Visualize the beautiful sun in the sky shining down on us. Visualize the fertile earth and Geviun with her plow, plowing to get to her victory, plowing to find it. And now if you can wiggle your fingers and toes, flutter your eyes open and be present. And we will begin. Our sacred space will now be hallowed and worded. If you have a candle and wish to light it, this would be the time to do it. We light the way, the world between, in kindred flame with Suna's light. Reveal our path, shine bright for us, to the north, to the east, to the south, to the west, above us, below us. Seen, connect, and ward, and hallow our spaces and make them sacred for this rite. I'm going to do the statement of intent now. And I live in northern Delaware, and as some of you might know, we just had an earthquake, and it's very cold here. We had what we call the spring of deception, and we are into what we now term second winter. And the big joke is, you know, the people said to Mother Earth and Mother Nature, hey, can we get some warmer weather? And the response was, best we can do, earthquake. So that's where we're at right now. It's still sweater weather here in my part of the world. But the days are growing longer. The spring ephemerals are coming up. The trees are flowering beautifully. Daffodils are up. Our migratory birds are singing their dawn choruses. It's absolutely wonderful. And of course, our little foxes who are under our little vixen who lives under our porch has already had her babies, her kits, and all baby animals are being born in burrows, and they're beginning to seek the sun. And that is a beautiful, beautiful thing. So today we're going to celebrate the victory of light and life and vigor and growth over darkness and death and stillness and stagnation. Each have their place, each are important, but we are now in the time of vigor and growth and life. And yay, let's celebrate that. So Sigrblót, or Victory Blot, is an ancient heathen holiday. Olaf Saga Helga mentions that the folk of Trondheim held a blot to welcome the summer half of the year. And stanza 8 of Ynglinga saga lists Winter's Night, Yule, and Sigrblót summer finding as 3 important holidays. Now, scholarly, there's debates about, you know, how accurate everything is, but we'll take it because this is what we've got. And you know, I think it's important to celebrate this victory time. So I want to talk a little bit about the debates. There's a lot of conjecture about victory and raiding. And I want to tell you from my reading, from my scholarship, the passage doesn't say anything about warfare and raiding. Okay? It could have been celebrating agricultural victories, such as the fertility of crops and livestock, considered the time of year, right? And it could be about trading voyages in the year ahead, or many other things. We really don't know for sure. And as modern heathens, it's important to take these things and use the lore, but also to interpret them so they're relevant for us. This is very important, so that this is a living faith and our connection to the gods is present and current. In Iceland, the last 5 days of the winter half of the year were called Sumarnætr, summer portion, or summer nights. And the first day of summer itself, which is Sumardagurinn, Firsti, fell between April 9th and 15th. So we're right on the cusp of that in the Julian calendar. So that's the Julian calendar, right? And it's celebrated as a public holiday in Iceland today. You can go look it up later. And that is from Janssen's The Icelandic Calendar. I did have to definitely do some research on that. Today, we also begin the work of manifesting our personal victory, small or large. Whether that victory involves cultivating a garden, losing weight, saving money for a trip, or victory in developing a new healthy habit or routine, or any other goal or adventure that you might want to name, the manifestation involves risk and hard work. These things do not happen without that, and our Lord tells us that. That's why Geviun is up here, and even for Suna, because she must keep pace, she must keep ahead, she must keep going, despite the fact she is followed by risk, a huge risk that will eventually catch up to her. So for both goddesses, there is risk and hardship involved in their victory. And every day I see the victory of Suna at dawn when she's coming up and setting at the end. It's a beautiful thought. So to aid us in pursuit of our victories, we're going to call upon Suna, the solar lady, and Geviun, the undaunted, as well as the seen and unseen we work with to achieve our victory. So we'll start by invoking our land Vatir and our house Vatir. Hail our whites of the land and our home. We are welcoming you to this rite as witnesses and in wheel to come and be part of and participate and bear witness to what we do. We thank you for your being and presence, and we honor your protection of our land and our homes. Hail the land wights, hail the wights of our house. Ancestors, you who are of our bones and of our spirit, we call upon you to bear witness to this rite of victory. If you are our Disir of spirit, our Alfar of spirit, or of blood, and you wish to participate in supporting our work, please be here to help us today. Hail the ancestors. Great ones, Vanir, Aesir, those of you who are part of this, the Jotnar who are wheel working, all of you please who wish to bear witness and wheel work with us, you are welcome to this rite. Great goddess Suna, daughter of Mundilfari, the time turner, sister of gleaming Mani, wife of Glenner, mother of Elfbeam, fair one, we hail you. Day star, light bringer, Elfbeam, ever glow, fair wheel, all bright year counter, shine upon us. Be our pace setter and help us to follow your rhythms and to structure our days well as we manifest our victory. Bright one, we bid you hail and welcome. Hail and welcome. Hail Geviun, the giver, mother of devoted Jotun sons, wife of Skjoldr, mother of kings and founder of dynasties, Frigg's lady and Odin's boon companion. Your plow is mighty and your lands fertile, protectress of young women, lady of fertility and prosperity. May we plow the fields of circumstance with perseverance, foresight, and courage. Help us to plan well and work hard to manifest our victory. Hail Geviun! Hail Geviun! Now, if you've got your paper, I would like you to hold it for a second, and I would like you to hold your writing implement if you have it. We're going to set and declare our intention for victory. So holding your paper and your writing implement, or visualizing it within your head, visualize yourself holding it, okay? Visualize the personal victory that you wish to manifest. See it as clearly as possible. See the end result of all your hard work and see yourself with it. And hold that image. And think of the steps you may take to achieve it, knowing that these may change and with time and circumstance. These do not have to be as fully formed right now, but I would like you to really think about some of the steps you will have to take, even if they're adjectives like diligence. But if you can get better than that and think of what you're going to have to do, a few steps would be good. Now, when you're ready, I would like you to write the victory that you wish to manifest on the paper, and I want you to sign it with your name. You can also put a sigil and or a magical name if you wish. The more you put down, I think the more committed you can be to this task. So I'm going to write mine, and you guys go ahead and write yours. I want to give you a minute more to finish that up. And now I'd like you to hold the paper on which you have written and signed your name as we say this, and I will say it in bits with you so you can say it after me. I set my intent to achieve my victory in this sacred space and ask that the great ones present support my efforts. With your aid, may I manifest this victory. Now, I don't want you to put your paper down yet. Hold on to that and visualize your victory again. I'm going to sing the song for you, and we're going to sing it. I will sing it 3 times. The second time, you can do it with me or you can start, because I'm going to make it easy. I'm going to pause after each verse so you can say it or sing it. Weaving and woven strands of light, weaving and woven strands of light, holding the power, shifting the night, holding the power, shifting the night, mantle of goodness, mantle of might, mantle of goodness, mantle of might, soon I empower the seeker's light, soon I empower the seeker's light, Gevyun empower the seeker's might, Gevyun empower the seeker's might, weaving and woven strands of light, holding the power, shifting the night, mantle of goodness, mantle of might, soon I empower the seeker's light, so Gevyun empower the seeker's might. One time more with energy, as much energy as we can. Weaving and woven strands of light, holding the power, shifting the night, mantle of goodness, mantle of might, soon I empower the seeker's light, Gevyun empower the seeker's might. And now we're going to seal the working by Galdring Sawillo, that is Suna's rune, and a rune of victory and illumination. And we'll do this 3 times as well. So we're going to Galdr Gebo now, Gevyun's rune, and the balance of gift and gift, sacrifice and sacrifice in even exchange. Gebo. 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 And next we're going to Galdr Yera, the passing of seasons and the fruitful harvesting of our efforts. Yera. Yera. And it is done. You can fold your paper. If it's in your mind, put it in your heart so you can have it there and write it down later. And let's begin the blót. Hail the holy ones. Hail all assembled great ones. I would like to take this moment to thank you for helping us to manifest and begin this work. It is hard work, and we recognize that we're going to need your support. We cannot do it alone. We need the support perhaps of our community as well. And yet ultimately, this work is ours. It is us. It is our self-realization. And we understand that the effort and the integrity of the intent must come from us. I sign this cup with Yera, Gebo, and I also sign it with the rune Soilo. And we'll begin. Bless our beverages as we offer them to you. I'll begin. Everyone can sort of say it at the same time and also write it into the chat if you would like. I'm going to start with this round to Suna and Geviun. Hail Suna, our solar lady. May we make good use of our days and make good use of our time as we manifest and work hard to manifest our victory. Hail Geviun, you who plowed, who went after your goals with foresight and integrity and wit and wisdom. We thank you and hope that we too will be able to enact and manifest our victories. We hail you. Hail Suna. Hail Geviun. I'll pour a little into my bloat bowl. Give you a second to type or say what you need to say. I hope you're feeling some energy raised right now. I hope you're feeling sacredness around you and good forces supporting you. Our second round is to the gods and ancestors of blood and spirit. I want to hail Frigg and all of the ladies who work with her, who have helped me to continue my own work, both as a birth doula, as a mother, as a God's woman. I thank you for your presence in my life, and I hail you. Hail Frigg, hail the ladies of her court. And this is gods and ancestors, so you hail anyone, seen and unseen, who you would care to.
I'm going to unmute because this would not be a Troth rite unless we honored our Troth ancestors. Specifically for victory, I want to honor the man who helped build Midwestern Heathenry and a former godman of the Troth, Rod Landreth. Hail Rod.
Hail Rod, absolutely. Hail Rod. Yes, the Troth is this beautiful, beautiful conglomerate that is embracing of everyone who is of goodwill. And I'm so proud to be a part of it. And I'm so grateful to Rod for the work he did to establish a basis for what we now have today. It's a huge blessing. I would like to go on. This is an open round. The only thing I ask for this round is please no oathing. I will just hail Rod again for my open round, for Rod just being here and having been present on this earth and doing the work and manifesting the many victories that he manifested, which have benefited so many people still here today who are continuing our journeys. So hail Rod, and you can all please say your bit.
I would like to hail very quickly our all of our many heathens who are in recovery, who are, whether you are one day sober or you are like me and have over 20 years of sobriety, hail to those who have overcome addiction, who are overcoming addiction, or even those who are making steps to overcome your addictions. Hail.
Hail. This is the hardest part for me as a God's woman of doing virtuals, is I don't get to see for these, I don't really get to see your beautiful faces, and I don't get to hear your voices, but I hope that we're all connected. And I hope that you will think of writing your hails in the chat so that we can share them later. And we are going to open this up to question and answer after, so I will get to hear you. And that is a tremendous blessing as we get ready to hail and farewell here. Now we're going to bid farewell to the great ones and the unseen and seen who supported our work. So, hail to the ancestors, bones of our bones, spirit of our spirits. We thank you for your presence in this rite. We thank you for supporting us, not sometimes when we don't even realize it, a lot of the time when we don't realize it. Help us to manifest our victories. We thank you for bearing witness and helping to work wheel in our lives. Hail the ancestors. Hail and farewell. Hail the great ones. Hail the gods and goddesses, the Vanir, the wheel-working Jotnar, the people who are here, the beings who are here to support us in our work. We thank you for your presence. We thank you for your support and bid you farewell and hail. Hail to the whites of our land and our home, those who dwell here ever, who protect us, who watch over us. We are aware of you. We acknowledge you. We honor you. And we bid you farewell for now. Hail. Hail to great Geviun, the undaunted. We thank you for your presence, for your incredible support of us, for your presence in our lives, your immediate responses sometimes when we reach out to you, your tough love, no nonsense way of saying, get on with the task, get moving, you can do this. For your support, we honor you and we thank you for your presence here and bid you hail and farewell. Great Suna, we are so grateful for your light. We are so grateful for the illumination that you cast over our lives, without which no life is possible. Help us set a good pace. Help us to keep a good rhythm as we manifest this victory. Illuminate us in the times when we are feeling in shadow and unsure. Help us to have that ability to go forward, to complete the task that we were assigned and that we assigned ourselves today. We thank you for your presence. We bid you hail and farewell. And I would like to end this rite with a poem by Mary Oliver called The Journey. One day, you finally knew what you had to do, though the voices around you kept shouting their bad advice. Though the whole house began to tremble and you felt the old tug at your ankles. Mend my life, each voice cried. But you didn't stop. You knew what you had to do, though the wind pried with its stiff fingers at the very foundations, though their melancholy was terrible. It was already late and a wild night, and the road full of fallen branches and stones. But little by little, as you left their voice behind, the stars began to burn through the sheets of clouds, and there was a new voice which you slowly recognized as your own, that kept you company as you strode deeper and deeper into the world, determined to do the only thing you could do, determined to save the only life that you could save. This bloat is ended. Blessings to all. I hope it was meaningful for you. And I thank you all for participating. If anyone has questions and answers, I'll be hanging out here for a little while, or if you just want to chat.
Thank you so much. This was a beautiful ritual, and hopefully with your permission, we can share this in the new book of ritual that we're compiling, because I loved it. Then again,
that would be an honor. There was no Sigrblót in the old one, which is, I thought was all the same.
I will say that, this is something I've actually been Wagoner and I've talked about a few times. And mainly because it just has to come to how we approached holidays 25 years ago versus how we approach it now, and what historical information we have now versus what we had 25 years ago. And I think that is a huge part of it. We are part of a thriving, living, growing faith. And that's a huge part of, what we did 25 years ago or 20 years ago or even 5 years ago is not the same. And that's a good thing.
It is. I mean, the fact that we're evolving is part of a living faith, and that's what it should be. And we all have our own feelings, and I have my way of doing things. You don't have to agree with it. This works for me. I'm here to share my love and honor the gods in my way. That doesn't mean it has to be your way. I don't really have any orthodoxy or orthopraxy, really a whole lot in the way I do my ministry.
There is no, I mean, we have very little information historically about what they did, other than we knew that there were offerings given, and we have a few things. But for the most part, because it was, the way I understand it from talking to historians, it's like no one would think to write down how you walk to check the mail, because everyone does it. Everyone did ritual, and
Right.
So no one thought to record it because it was just such a pervasive part of life.
Right. They didn't.
And
it
so,
wasn't an inspiration. I agree with that. And I think nowadays, if you don't like what I do, and you're like, oh my gosh, I don't like that. Why are you doing it? Then write your own. I mean, I invite you. I celebrate your differences, and as long as they are inclusive and welcoming of all, you do you. It's fine. It's a blessing.
and if you don't like it, well, we have continental Germanic rituals up on here. In fact, I'm getting ready to post a Nurthus ritual that I'm finished editing. We have rituals in all styles. We have many different people. We have my rituals. We have many different people's rituals up that you can look at and learn from. It's one of the things I love about the Troth is we have such a diversity of practice that you're able to learn something new. And even if I am not continental Germanic, but I love watching different rituals because I might get something from there and add something to my own practice that I wouldn't have known before had I not spent that half hour watching that ritual and participating.
Yeah. And let us not forget our glawa, because it's a beautiful tradition. It's got such gorgeous, beautiful rituals.
We don't have any rituals up for that. I'm just offering what we have available on the YouTube, because we don't have any Erglova rituals up. No one has volunteered to do any. So I'm only going by, I can only offer what we got. So.
Right. But
I'm just saying, like, you just never know, just go with, that is the thing. And that's one of the things about attending events like Trothmoot, like Frith Forge, like Northeast Thing or Midwest Wintermoot or any of these other events. You get exposed to so many different ritual styles. And I'll just give a plug. It's still not too late to sign up for the virtual component of Frith Forge, which is an international conference. So we'll have rituals from around the world, including in Spanish, starting next Saturday. And you can go to our website, thetroth.org, and sign up for that, for the virtual component, and have access to all of that for those 4 days, and learn a lot about how people in Central and South America do ritual, which can be different because they don't have the same seasonal cycles. Learn how people in Europe do ritual. I think it's going to be really exciting to learn very different ways of doing things that I haven't even been exposed to. So just a little plug there for that event coming up.
Yeah, I wish I was in Costa Rica right now, but
I will be.
It's very cold.
I will be next weekend, and I'm very excited.
I'll be there in spirit. I'll be there in spirit.
Yeah, and I'm definitely. But yeah, I think it's a very. It's one of the cool things about going. So if you have an opportunity to go to an event near you or far from you, whatever, I encourage it because you will learn so much from other people's ritual styles. I mean, that's how I learned that I vibe the most with your ritual style was just from Troth Mood and experiencing your rituals and realizing, okay, you speak to my inability to visualize in a way that most other people can't. And that has helped me write better rituals for my community because I've been able to look at what you do and say, okay, I really love when she does this, this, and this. How can I incorporate that for my community who's very neurodiverse and make better ritual for them? So, like I said, I highly encourage people to be exposed to other rituals and ritual styles.
Right. Everyone has their own thing. Like if you were here, you'd be getting some smells as well. I would probably have, I would have some rosemary maybe to cleanse in it because that's just something I do. Or we would, I sang today with the candle, but we definitely try to involve as many senses as possible.
And there's another regional difference. Again, you use rosemary, I use cedar because I also practice traditional Ozark folk medicine, and cedar is our traditional cleansing herb. So the little differences, but yet they work the same. It's just all about where you are, what's available, and I love the way our religion is growing into these really beautiful regional expressions that are heavily influenced by where you are. That's something I'm vibing with right now a lot.
There's no set date because when Ostara, if you're in Michigan and Ostara is like freezing cold, you may want to move it a little bit closer to when you and your region are seeing actual blooms or some hint of something coming.
Or when my kindred was brand new and we were very young, like 20 years ago, and we had a winter finding one time at the beginning of November, and we're in Arkansas, guys. We were all wearing shorts and flip-flops, talking about the coming of winter. I've never felt dumber in my life in a ritual.
Yeah, and that's one of the reasons. It's got to be relevant. I mean, it was, long ago times, the reason they were at certain times because that was relevant for Norway or Iceland or those were relevant times for them, and I think it's a very, how do I say this nicely, it's a very inflexible thing to limit your faith to the way something was done by people who were honoring God, their gods, our gods, for them in that time and space and in those conditions. To be a living religion, we really need to adapt this to where we live and what's going on in the lives of the followers around you. Gods are very flexible that way. That's how they survive.
Well, I can guarantee you there was never a hurricane bloat and sacrificed for a safe hurricane season back then, but it's something that happens today in the Gulf Coast states because it's a concern. I have done, tool blessing now, when I do the tool blessing in the spring, people used to bring, it used to be like their garden tools and stuff or agricultural. Now I'm blessing computer mice and, things people use in their jobs now. It's growing and adapting. We are a living religion. And I, as someone who considers himself a Reconstructionist, people often forget the lab component. As Ben Wagner says, my kindred brother, we get so focused on the classroom aspect, we don't do the lab work where we actually do the experimentation with what we've learned and see what works and what doesn't, and then refine our practice from there.
Yeah, and that's it. Part of my practice is I do my work. We're heathen. We go back. We look at the OG sources to the extent we can, understanding that, you know, if it's Snorri, he was Christian, it was written after, we don't really know what he changed to make it more poetic for him. We do the best with what we've been given. We do the best with the archaeology that we do have. And then we have to use that and what's around us and some personal gnosis maybe. Remember that, you know, everything was personal gnosis once. If enough people share it, then it becomes lore, right, over time. So let's not forget that when we point fingers and say, oh, that's UPG. UPG has its place, right? It has its place.
Exactly. Well, thank you so much for this. This was beautiful. Thank you to everyone who's joined us. If you're watching us on the replay, thank you so much. And we will see you guys again. We do have a ritual scheduled for May Day. And then, of course, all the other major heathen holidays, we will be here for you. And also don't forget, we do have our weekly Friday night show where we have a rotating panel called All Things Considered. So looking forward to having everyone. Thank you so much. And we will see everyone on the next holiday.